Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Stevie, one half of the music partnership that is the Fiveys, and we've been getting a lot of folk that are finding it difficult to maintain a solid strumming pattern. So we thought we'd put together a series of videos to help you out with that. This will be lesson number 1, so it's going straight back to the basics, but this is a really good one and it's a great starting point. So let's get started. Okay, so we're really focusing on our strumming hand for this one, so I'm going to be playing everything just over a C chord to get us started. This is all about counting. Just counting to 4, and then we're going to add in some syllables. And the important thing when you're doing this as an exercise is that it has to be against a pulse, a tempo. And you can even, if you wanted to, get a metronome and set it at a pulse, and everything that we're going to be doing will be to a pulse. Okay, so we need to be sticking to the grid of that pulse. Okay, and we're going to just be playing some note values. We're going to just concentrate on 3 note values for this lesson, and it'll be the quarter note, the 8th note, and the 16th note, or the crotchet, quaver, semi-quaver as we would use as well. Okay, but I like to refer to them as quarter, 8ths, 16th, because that actually means something in terms of how many notes are being played within one bar of anything that's written in 4/4 time. So we're counting in chunks of 4, and basically we're playing the first 4 beats as just down strums, and it's going to land on every number. So if this is the pulse, and I count as in, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and down, 2, 3, 4. Really simple, okay? And this is just good practice for beginners. If you're just practicing getting your strumming hand going and practicing how you're maybe placing your fingers for your strumming. There's different ways to do it, but I just prefer to use my index finger and almost just pinching my knuckle there, just to suggest that I'm holding a pick or a plectrum. That's how I would do it, but there's many different ways to do it. So that's the first one, that's the quarter note, okay? Now we're going to stick to the same pulse, but we're now going to play 8th note, so that requires a down and then an up. And the counting is, we're going to play the same 4 beats, and we're going to add the word "and" in between each number, so it becomes this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it. You get 8 notes within that count of 4. So every "and" essentially should be an up strum, and on a number should be a down strum. Let's try it. Here's your tempo: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, now you should be managing that okay. The next thing is we add the 16th notes. Okay, so we add more syllable sounds to our counting. We're still counting to 4, but it now becomes 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So that's our 16 notes within that one count of 4. Okay, so it's just doubling the tempo of the previous 8th note rhythm. It requires the downstroke and the upstroke, and it would sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, and again. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, and again. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, and one more time. 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. Now if you're doing that the right way, you should, every single syllable sound or number or the word "and" is matching up with what I'm saying. Every strum is matching with what I'm saying. So really slowly it would be 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And this is what really helps us establish a consistent rhythm with our strumming. Now, the exercise that you're aiming for is playing those 3 note values back to back. So you're just looping round, and you should just land back on the quarter note rhythm really comfortably without any speeding up or slowing down. And this is where your metronome would come in very handy. And you know, this is the kind of thing that you would just be doing as you're watching the TV and you've got a metronome on. You know, put your buds in and then just play along, and then you can gauge how fast you can become. So say you set it at 60 beats per minute and you're playing that quite comfortably, going around to 3 different note values, then up to 65, then 70, and it gives you a good indication of how you're developing your right hand speed as well. So let's go around it a few times, starting off with the quarter note, then the 8th note, and then the 16th note, and then we're just going to go, I'm going to loop that round. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Okay, so if you're getting that and bearing in mind it's all about trusting your right hand, it must land on every single number or vowel sound that you're saying. 1 E and a, 2 E and a. And it has to be against a pulse, otherwise we can just be sort of guessing it, and it's not about guessing. And once you get familiar with that, you can then just do that and change chords. So I'll go from a C to an A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a F. 1, 2, 3. So you get the idea. And you can also go between, say, C and A minor and F over the 3 different note values. So it would sound like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. It's a real basic start into understanding rhythm theory using those 3 note values against a pulse, and I would really recommend you get a metronome for that and you can then gauge it, but practice it slowly to begin with. It's all about getting your right hand or your strumming hand lining up with what you're saying, okay, and then that will really be useful for when you come to play more syncopated grooves. So as always, thanks for watching and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.